Hi, welcome back to Miniatures. It's about 9 weeks to go until King Kong is in the theaters, but for us it's only about 2 weeks to go because we have to finish shooting all the miniature elements to go to digital for compositing just so we can meet that 9-week deadline. In past episodes, we've showed you how we build the sets and how we dress the sets and how we work with the art direction and stuff. Now we're going to show you how we light them and how we shoot miniatures for King Kong. So let's take a look.
We've got quite a few things going on at the moment in a sort of rush towards the end. We're shooting Central Park, Kong's lair, which is where Kong lives, the spider pit, and another part of that is called the log chasm.
We've done well over 1,000 shots at this point. When you're shooting miniatures, our goal is always to make everything convincing. Now, one of the things that you notice in a film that doesn't use miniatures is that every shot's pretty much in focus. You're out in the sunlight, you can see things that are near the camera in focus, you can see things that are far away in focus. And the thing that kills most miniature shots that don't work is the fact that stuff in the near ground, stuff near the camera, isn't sharp. In order to get that convincing look that everything's in focus, it means that we have to adjust the lens in such a way that we can keep even the near stuff in focus. It's very, very tricky. Backside of that is that you've got to use a tremendous amount of light when you do that.
One of the things we often have to do is try to replicate the characteristics of sunlight for a particular scene. We try to match what Andrew Lesney, who's the director of photography, you did on the day.
Out in the real world, sun's millions and millions of miles away. If you're dealing with a small source that's that far away, its beams will be parallel, whereas you come in with a big light like a 20K, its beam keeps going out. It doesn't go in a straight line, so your shadows tend to change.
It may not be obvious to you, but there's something wrong. You say, wait a minute, that doesn't look like real sunlight.
What we've been doing is using multiple sources of light so that it looks as though there's a big source and they're all coming from a similar direction.
Then there's another interesting thing we have to deal with. Things that are far away in the real world are not as sharp as things that are up close. Not in terms of focus, but in the fact that you're looking through a lot of air. How do we create a lot of air when the furthest away thing in the miniature is only 50 feet away?
Adding smoke helps create that atmospheric perspective, and seeing that graduation all in one scene, that's the thing that makes you really feel like you have a lot of depth and it feels really big.
So that's focus is critical, the character of the light is critical, and the atmospheric perspective, the diffusion on distant objects is critical. Those are the three keys to making a miniature work and be believable. This is a nice modern Aeroflex 435 camera, which is our good old workhorse, but half the cameras we're using are Mitchells, were made 40 years ago. They're just as good now as they were then. Beautiful production camera for the kind of work that we do.
For most all the shots we do, we rely on motion control equipment.
A motion control package is a camera, a dolly and a crane that are all controlled by a computer.
We really have to use motion control because we need to do exact repeat pass photography. Having the camera move exactly the same way over and over and over again.
Its relevance in terms of miniatures is being able to put a scene that was shot in real life up against the scene that was shot in miniatures, and to be able to deal with the scaling of the two shots. It can also mean that Weta Digital, when they are creating the animation of Kong, it's going to line up to what's actually happening in the background. Most of the miniatures we shoot multiple passes because it allows the compositors to actually manipulate the overall shot.
Well, we make sure that we've given them soft key light, hard key light, diffuse light, and so forth, so they can take these different elements and lay them together and produce just about any look they want.
On Rings, Pete had several units all over the North and South Island. But in this case, the entire film was done pretty much right here on the lot. So Pete's been using the miniature units as his location scenic units.
I think it's daring and brave of Peter and to have that confidence in what we're doing, to actually put that much of the movie entirely in a miniature environment.
It's been a huge monumental task, but it gives Pete the ultimate control over creating Skull Island.